back to the Trusted Car Pilots Testing Studio. We're here to film a video today for our YouTube channel, so thank you very much for checking that out indeed. We're going to be doing one of our how-to guide videos. We're going to be looking today at the problem of etchings caused by bird and insect residue on paintwork. Okay, so as mentioned, what we're going to be looking at today is the problem that I'm sure most of you will have occurred, whether it's on your own personal vehicle or if you're in the trade on a customer's vehicle or have just seen on a friend and family's vehicle, is when a bird leaves its business on a car and you come back, you wipe off the excrement, shall we say, to be polite, and it leaves an etching behind. This is caused by the acidity or the alkaline content of the bird droppings. It can be an insect residue as well. When insects hit your car and then are baked on by the sun, it has the same effect. As you can see here, this has quite a nasty etching on it, left by some bird muck. So what we're going to do is show you a couple of ways of removing this from your clear coat of your vehicle. Now, a lot of people will just simply try rubbing at it with a cloth. If you get the bird muck off very quickly, that should be fine. It probably hasn't etched by then, but you won't be able to get the etching off just with a cloth and quick detailer, because it has actually, as I say, etched through the clear coat. So the only way is to correct it. Now, a lot of people will try an abrasive polish or even a machine polish on this, and that may well do it, but it's not always possible. It might be very particularly thin paint, and there's always the risk of striking through when you're doing that. What we're going to do is show you an alternative way of removing this from your car using heat and nothing else. Okay, so you may have noticed with the direct light shining on the car that this is quite a heavily swirled paintwork on this car. We are going to be machine polishing it anyway afterwards, so we thought this would be a good opportunity to demonstrate this. But what you need is simply either a heat gun. The one we are using is the Titan heat gun, which we acquired from Screwfix in the UK. And if you don't have a heat gun to hand, you can use a hairdryer on its hottest setting, but we do recommend a heat gun because it has more control over the heat output. We don't recommend putting it onto the highest setting. We put it on the medium heat setting at the most, so on this one that is setting number 2. And it is a case of very gently wafting back and forward over the area where the etching is. Periodically stopping so that the panel can cool a little. You don't want the panel getting too hot. You can see it's already taking the edge off it. Okay, so as you can see, largely that has now removed the defect. And it does this by something that we call in the trade reflow. So what you're essentially doing is by heating the clear coat very carefully, you are expanding it and then contracting it by stopping regularly. And that process of expansion and contraction gradually means that the etching essentially sort of is covered up again by the clear coat expanding and then contracting back over it. It's a much more accessible way, is I guess the best way of wording it, than a machine polisher. Like I say, you can do this with a hairdryer. Just take care not to overheat the panel, because obviously these do put out a lot of heat. Do take caution when doing so. But it is, with practice, a very safe and very quick way of removing these bird lime etchings, because if they are left too long, even machine polishing can sometimes not remove them. They can go so deep that it can be a case of respray or a very harsh sort of wet sanding approach. So at least this eliminates any risk from wet sanding or machine polishing, and is a very accessible way of removing them in your own home. Okay, so what you've seen there is in literally around a minute I've been able to remove a defect from the car using nothing more than heat. The advantages of doing this are, the alternative is machine polishing, which takes skill, it takes experience and knowledge of how to use a machine polisher, plus obviously the accessibility with a machine polisher. For a decent bit of kit, you're looking at least £80–90 plus really. Most people, almost everyone, will have a hairdryer in their home. You can do that with a hairdryer quite easily. A basic heat gun can be acquired for £10–15 in the UK. It's just a much safer way, a quicker way of doing so, as long as you're sensible. Just bear in mind not to overheat a panel, and you can't really go wrong. Just don't take the heat gun on its highest setting, and don't keep it on the bodywork for more than sort of 10 seconds, 15 seconds at a time, because obviously if extreme heat gets into the clear coat, it will cause more harm than good. But with a little bit of patience, a little bit of common sense, it is a far more accessible way than machine polishing your panel to remove some unsightly defects and get your car looking as good as it can. Okay, so thank you for checking out another video on the Trusted Car Products YouTube channel. We hope you found it both interesting and informative, and hopefully it will help you or someone you know at some point to remove a defect from your car. We really appreciate all the help that we get with the channel, so please like the video, give it a thumbs up. Any comments we'll try our best to reply to as quick as possible. And subscribe, hit that subscribe button, that's the word I was looking for. If you haven't done already, it really is appreciated. Also check us out at www.trustedcarproducts.co.uk and hit us up on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter if you have those as well. Thank you very much.